countries of South America received Christianity from the hands of European colonizers. The first believers of Christ appeared in Chile in the 16th century. But for various reasons, it is only in the last 200 years that the Chilean church has been able to grow in strength. Yet the great shortage and need for contemplative convents continues to burden this church.
One has to take into account that countries evangelized by the Spaniards were not empowered to set up contemplative orders. The Spaniards encouraged and facilitated the establishment of active orders. That is why the likes of the Carmelites or Benedictine or Clarist orders arrived after independence, that is, not until the 19th century.
Son llegadas después de la independencia, o sea, en el siglo XIX recién.
Del hombre en él se afana, tras la felicidad que tanto ansía. Tú lo viste, Señor de luz temprana, y de radiante sol al mediodía.
Our life is wholly contemplative. We are not involved in any active apostolic work. We live simply, wholly devoted to our Lord. From the moment we wake up, at 5:20 in the morning, to 10:30 in the evening, when we turn in for the night after the evening reading. During the day we have our prayer hours, the complete liturgy of the hours, and 2 hours of personal prayer in the morning or afternoon. We also have breaks that we spend together. We live a simple family existence. Apart from the 2-hour break, everything else is done in silence. For example, our work. We strive to keep silent throughout the day.
Despite appearances, the harsh nature of the Carmelite rule attracted and continues to attract the young. The first Chilean saint, Theresa of Jesus of Los Andes, felt an internal call to join the Carmelites at the age of 14 years. She was a beautiful girl from a wealthy Christian family. In 1996, Father Verenfried wrote about her. She was a child of nature who loved to gallop through the fields on horseback, yet who from the tenderest age had fallen in love with Jesus and was filled with an insatiable desire to live and die his bride. By reading the works of Carmelite saints, and through frequent correspondence with the former prioress of the Los Andes convent, she prepared herself to enter the order. She was 19 years old when she crossed the convent's threshold.
She joined the convent in 1920 as a very young girl. She stayed with us all of 9 months, yet in that time manifested a really unique holiness and depth of experience. Even as she lived in the outside world, she was already living a Carmelite existence, offering herself for the clergy, offering her life to Jesus in a very personal way. Our Lord called her to a convent life, so that the moment she actually joined was but an extension of a Carmelite existence that had long existed deep in her heart. Shortly after joining, having managed to take the habit, she came down with typhoid. In those days, there were no modern cures, and so she died within a short time. She began to work great miracles after her death. People became very close to her, and though she had not yet made herself known to them, they came to seek graces through her hands.
She left behind a diary and letters rich in deep thoughts. In one of them she wrote, "I wish to be nailed to the cross. I wish to give suffering a home in my life, in order to atone for my own faults. for the conversion of sinners, and for the sanctification of priests. Theresa of Jesus of Los Andes was the first Chilean and the first American Carmelite to be declared blessed by John Paul II in 1987, and to be canonized by the same Pope in 1993. Today, successive generations of young girls, eager to follow in her footsteps, are attracted by Andean St. Teresa's witness.
Hay un gran aumento de vocaciones carmelitas.
There has been a great increase in the number of Carmelite callings, such that the Carmelite convent in the Andes has declared a willingness to set up a foundation in Iquique. The land is there, the plans are there. Callings are growing, and for the moment the bishop is trying to collect funds to build this first convent in northern Chile. Of course, Church in Need is also helping.
Y naturalmente ayuda a la iglesia que sufre y quisiera ayudarle en todo lo que podamos.
Estamos en el norte grande de Chile.
We are in the great north of Chile, in the desert, overlooking the sea, the Pacific Ocean, the land of Iquique. It is here that the Mother of Mount Carmel is praised.
Desde acá se venera mucho a la Santísima Virgen del Carmen.
Many kilometers from the city in Tirana, we find a sanctuary to the Virgin from Carmel. In the whole of Chile's great north, there is not a single contemplative order, and that is why we felt the need to invite the Carmelite sisters. They in turn have responded in a spirit of sacrifice and have agreed to come here to set one up. A convent is, one might say, an indispensable fulfillment of an active church, for without prayer there is no depth. Without prayer no apostolic work can bear fruit.
Sin oración no hay fruto apostólico.
Love of the Carmel Virgin of the North and of our Teresa is very widespread in the North. People love her very much and show great devotion. In every church and in every parish there is an altar devoted to her. We thought to ourselves that the people having brought all this about, our Lord was asking us to make this step.
The
whole plan envisages a convent for 21 sisters, though less come to begin with. I reckon that there will be at least 8 sisters to begin with, and later, with God's help, there will be more. There are young girls from Iquique who had a need to join the convent in Auco, and they are trying to discern their calling. Maybe with time we will be able to count on them in this new community.
Y quizás contar con ellas también en esta comunidad.
We think that the Lord will somehow provide, because when He calls, He must also provide the material means.
La primera donación que fue